Good morning. Good morning, friends. It is 9:02 on Wednesday, the hump day, halfway through the week. Hope that you are having a great week. I really do. I can't wait to. Hey, Caitlin. Good morning from West Ashley. Miss Vivian is with us. Irmo in the house. That's my old stomping grounds. Dan, Bree, good morning. So, wanted to start off this morning telling you, good morning, Dominique, tell you a little bit about my morning. This ain't even going to sound real. Like, I'm doing the morning encouragement this morning, but I need the morning encouragement this morning. So this morning I get up, and I'm a morning person. Like, man, it's going to be a great day. I'm alive again. My family is awesome. Like, I just wake up happy. It's going to be a great day. And so this morning I wake up, typical day. I got up extra early. We were out of coffee. So I drove to Starbucks to get Katie a coffee, just thinking like, man, I'm going to love her well today. Well, I get home, go to start getting ready for the day. I love waking up Anthem. Sometimes he'll get up and put on clothes, and he had gotten up and put on winter clothes. He had a big coat on, and he's real snuggly. So I get him up, and right as I'm like holding him, hugging him, he says, "Daddy, I pee-peed behind the crib." And I was like, "What?" And so I looked down, and sure enough, I'm standing in a puddle of pee that had run under the crib, down the wall in the back. And I'm like, "You're potty trained, dude. You don't do this, you know?" And I just got so frustrated, carried him out of the room, cleaned up the pee, put him back in his crib for timeout, like just frustrated. Well, about that time, this alarm noise starts going off, and so I'm like, "What is that? What is that noise?" So I walk through the upstairs and realize that our daughter Anna Jay's smoke alarm is going off and will not be quiet. It's an Alexa deal, and she's saying, "Not connected to the internet. Evacuate. Carbon dioxide," and like it's just going on and on and on. So I try to disconnect it, and it made every smoke alarm in the house go off. Kids are screaming. Ari's like, "Oh gosh, stop it! Stop!" I mean, it's violently loud, and so I'm just getting more and more and more frustrated. I flip the breaker. They're supposed to be turned off. They're still going off, screaming loud. I open up my app. It was non-responsive, saying you're not connected to the internet, so I couldn't turn them off. Mind you, I just cleaned up pee from the floor that had been sitting there who knows how long, right? And so I'm just getting madder and madder. And so then I finally say, I can't do it. I've got to leave. Like, I've got to go. And so I go to start getting ready. About that time, our dog was laying on our bed. We've got a white comforter. And as the white dog that we just got bathed, goes to stand up on the bed, there's poo smeared all over the dog's fur. And so I'm realizing we just had the dog bathed, and he was laying on our white bed, and it's a white dog, and it had poo in the fur. And I'm like, it was one of those mornings where I was like, this morning could not get worse. I know it could, right? I know it could, but it was thing after thing after thing after thing that made me feel like I'm losing my mind. So even right now at our house, thankfully Katie was going to be gone this morning, but the smoke alarms are still going off, and I had to leave. So I love you kids. If you see this, Daddy will work on it when I get home. So all that to say, I don't know how your morning's going. It probably wasn't that bad, okay? And so be encouraged. The word that I want to talk to you about today, though, where I started off saying, like, man, morning encouragement, I need the morning encouragement, is about that. You know, oftentimes in our life, stuff can happen, puts us in a bad headspace, and what I want to talk about today is our thoughts. Yesterday, I had lunch with Pastor Chris Russo, who is our West Ashley campus pastor, and he is a great question asker. He'll ask questions that will get me thinking and bring something out of me. And yesterday at lunch, he said, "Hey, what kind of thoughts have you been having that you haven't told anybody about? And I was like, oof, that could be a scary question. All of us, whether it's thoughts about yourself, thoughts about the people around you, thoughts about the season of life that you're in, thoughts about your future. And so I'm gonna tell you what I told him, just because it's irrational, it's ridiculous, it's not true, it doesn't make any sense. Part of it's quarantine related. I'm going a little quarantine crazy, like getting back to normal. But the thought I had was, I'm afraid I'm wasting my life. And when it came out, I was like, gosh, I've had some thoughts, but I haven't verbalized that. And a lot of it's like just around disciplines and habits that I need to start, that I'm working through with my men's group, that I feel like I'm kind of wasting time on, and kind of processed what all was around that. But after I said it, Russo's response was, that's a lie. And I was like, yeah, that is a lie. And it got me thinking about the passage that I want to share with you today. It comes from Philippians 4, verse 8. And I'm going to read it to you. It says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Think about such things. And the thought that I've had since I left lunch with Russo yesterday was a little bit around some stuff that I think I've heard Pastor Chip say this in the past, but or something like this. But it's important for us to think about what we're thinking about, right? Almost thinking like if you had a scoreboard that was tracking with you all throughout the day, and for every thought you had, there was one of two columns. It was going to be life or death, right? And if the thought was going to bring about death, like about something negative about yourself or your future or your health or your relationships or your marriage or your kids or your finances, things are never going to change. I'm never going to get out of this debt. I'm never going to get healthy. I'm never going to feel better again. My kids are so aggravating. That neighbor is so frustrating. I hate my job. I don't like my family, like on and on and on. If you're having thoughts that you would chalk up in the death column, it's like, man, that's going to impact you personally. You're going to be the one that pays for that. It's important for us to think about what we think about, because our thoughts lead us in paths of life or death. So what I love about this verse, this is the Apostle Paul in Philippians 4, and I love it because he gives us pretty much an exhaustive list. He strips away any potential for stinking thinking by saying, like, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, like, man, even if you got to dig deep, say like, all right, I'm alive today. That's one thing. Like, man, I'm alive today. Like that's something I can be grateful for. That's something I can celebrate, right? And so for the last day or so, I've just been going through this list and would encourage you to do the same, because we know these words, but I think if you hold these words up to some of your thoughts, it'll challenge and change some of your thought patterns. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true. When I said that to Russo yesterday, and he said, that's a lie. And I realized, like, you're right. I wasn't going to find any of the thoughts that I was having anywhere in this book. And so whatever is true, where are you going to find truth? It's going to be right here in this word. And so if you're going through a financial struggle, a professional issue, something pertaining to your health, like whatever it may be, there are promises in this book that you can stand on. There's truth available for you. Paul said, whatever is true, think about such things. Don't get stuck down in your problem. Don't get stuck in the consequences of it in the future. Don't get stuck in the decisions you made in the past. Like, think about the truth. God is your provider. By his stripes, you are healed. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Like, there is a promise for you. So think about what's true. It says, whatever is right. The King James translation says, whatever is just. What if, as you think about, man, any time you get online right now, or social media, or conversations that you have, the race conversation is coming up. What if you decided, you know what? I'm going to refuse to allow myself to think about this as a right or left issue. You might be somebody that thinks, you know what, I don't think systemic racism is real. Like you might really struggle with certain aspects of the conversation. What if you just thought about, you know what, Paul said, whatever is just, whatever is right. And so I'm going to think about people. All people are created in the image of God. And if they're not feeling loved, seen, or cared for, that's not right. We just need to do something about that. What if you didn't get into the weeds of all the places that you get hung up and just thought about what's right? Man, I'm going to think about that. Whatever is pure. What if you had a filter you could just like pour all your thoughts through to capture, like, man, that's an impure thought. I don't like that guy. I don't like that girl. I do want to choke slam my kid, like whatever it is, but you think like, this thought isn't pure. I probably shouldn't be thinking about that, right? I love what he says there. Whatever is lovely. I always, if I'm writing Katie a letter, I'll usually, instead of putting her name, I'll write lovely on the card. Man, when I hear that word lovely, she's what comes to mind for me. Gracious, beautiful, loving, kind. Like, what are the lovely things in your life? If you were to write that at the top of the page, lovely, what comes to mind? Is it the face of some people? Maybe it represents their heart or personality. Is it sitting on the beach, hearing the waves come in? Like, man, we think about some garbage a lot throughout the day. What if you replace that with thinking about lovely things? Whatever is admirable. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So here's where I'm at. Coming off this morning with the pee on the floor, the smoke alarms that would not shut up, the dog poo matted in the dog's fur. Like, it'd be easy for me, and it's likely for me to head into the day with this like, inside of me. I'm like, I just want to like break something. I'm so pent up angry. It's like, man, I've got to stop for a minute, even as I'm talking this encouragement, and think about what I'm thinking about and say, okay, God, you are good. Like, all this stuff is going to be behind me, come 11 o'clock. I'm not going to let it steal my day. I'm not going to let it steal my mind. I'm going to think about what I'm thinking. I'll get my mind right. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, and man, there is a long, long list of stuff that I have to be grateful for and thankful for. And so chances are you're going to find yourself there somewhere today, maybe right now. Maybe you're thinking about some stuff that is going to rob you of life. It would cause you to walk down the path of death. And friends, I want to invite you today to remember that God is with you, that he's for you, that replace those thoughts with truth. If you got to dig deep, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about that. Let's put away the stuff that's going to lead to death. And I think if we do, man, we're going to love people better. We're going to love ourselves better, be a little kinder to ourselves. I know I could use some of that for me. And as Pastor Greg and Josh often say, like, we will be able to make it a great day. It's going to be hard for you to make it a great day if you allow yourself to entertain thoughts that would lead to death. And so let me pray for us, and we'll make it a good one. God, I thank you so much for this day, and thank you for the crazy mornings that just make me all the more thankful for the ones that are a little more peaceful and easygoing. And I'm reminded of the verse where you say to take our thoughts captive and make them obedient to Christ. And I just acknowledge, man, so often I don't think about what is true, what is lovely, what is admirable, what is excellent, what is praiseworthy. I think about what's aggravating or what's sinful or what's not pure or what frustrates me. And so just pray today. May your Spirit just catch those thoughts. Help us to think about things that are going to lead to life. Help us to have grace for ourselves, to love ourselves well, so that we might love others well. Would you help us to make it a great day? In Jesus' name, amen. All right, friends, I'm going to go back and read some of these responses later, but hope that encouraged you. And, man, let's make it a great day.